All right, welcome back, guys, to the Start Wholesaling Houses Now series. All right, and guys, if you've been liking these, please drop me a like. It means a lot to me. So let's get into it, right? Like, let's not waste time. Let's get straight into the meat and potatoes. We are at step 8, making offers, okay? So if you haven't already, make sure if you want your contract package, you want your cold calling script, you want your overcoming objections, make sure freecoldcallingscript.com. It's 100% free. I am not charging you anything for it. I truly want to see you be successful in this business, trying to give you everything you need to go out there and start doing some deals, all right? So, and just an FYI, guys, here coming up, I'll give you a little teaser for it. A lot of you have been asking for it. I'm going to give you all these steps and everything for free. But you know, those of you that want a very in-depth version of how to do this, how to start out, I'm going to be releasing a new course called 0 to 10K. Okay, 0 to 10K, and that is coming up very soon. Over the next couple, probably within 2 weeks, we should have that released for you. It's coming up, and I'm telling you guys, I'm very, very excited about this. I put my heart and soul into it. 10 years of doing this, if I started all over, what would I do? And going in depth, in detail, right? There's only so much really, you know, that I can give you on here. So hey, we'll cut that part. We'll cut that part right now. So guys, I put my heart and soul into it, and I'm very excited to share it with you. But let's get into it right now. Estimating repairs. So starting out, when it goes to making the offers, you got to be able to at least come up with a quick repair estimate. You're on the phone, right? So you're not at the property. I'm not going to get crazy into, you know, checking permits and all that stuff yet for you, because again, guys, all this is extra stuff that for me, you know, could prevent you from, you know, just keeping this thing moving forward. So with that being said, what I actually like doing, especially calling and texting, is a down and dirty, just quick like formula that you can use. And that way, right, like you use this and you can make offers faster, right? So it's going to help you. And you know, always suggest when you're making offers over the phone, especially, it's always got to be contingent upon viewing the property, right? So when the seller hits you with, hey, you know, how are you going to buy my house over the phone, or, you know, whatever, you're just going to tell them, hey, Mr. Seller or Mrs. Seller, I'm really relying on you to be honest with me. What's going on in the house? I'm going to check out, you know, the permits and see what's going on with that. But I just need to go over a few questions with you about the property. And based on that, what you're saying that needs, I'm going to make the offer. But please keep in mind that I will need to verify this, right? So you wouldn't buy a house just sight unseen. But at the same time, it costs us money and resources and time to send someone out there, take all the pictures and do all this other stuff. So that is why we prefer doing it this way. That way we know we have an agreement. I'm not going to hold you to it. It will be contingent upon me actually, or someone from my team viewing the property, taking pictures, verifying what you're actually telling me is true. Not saying I don't believe you, but at the end of the day, Mr. Seller, like, you know, unless you're in construction, you renovate homes, there's only so much that you're going to be able to see and know, right? So that way, it's fair for both of us. We have a preliminary agreement, and we'll both put in there a certain period of time, right, that we agree upon. I would push for like 7 days, right? Try to put a 7-day inspection period on there, and then to make them feel more comfortable and get the close, what you'll do is put in the agreement that, hey, you know, this agreement is contingent upon us verifying the property repairs and the condition and everything else. So, Mr. Seller, during that period, if we come back to you and we have to change the price for whatever reason, that's not what we're trying to do. I want you to understand that. But if we have to change it, then you do have the option to decline that, and you will be out of the agreement, all right? So that gives them the peace of mind, ease, and comfort of knowing that they're not like going to be stuck in some agreement that you come back and you have to offer them $50,000 less or whatever, right? So that really can be a sticking point for a lot of sellers moving forward and signing the contract right then and there. So make sure it is clear to them that you are going to have to verify, but at that time, if we do have to change the price for whatever reason, you do not have to stick in that. And now, obviously, you do want to push to get them to stick in that and, you know, negotiate and work the deal. but that will give them usually what they need to push them over the edge and actually sign the contract right then and there. Okay, so light rehab, what is light rehab? Okay, so let's just consider that's more of like rental grade. Okay, so if you're preparing like a regular 3-bedroom, 2-bath, you know, let's just say concrete block like house for a rental, like light paint, carpet, you know, like minor cosmetic stuff, that's what you're looking at. All right, minor cosmetics, that's going to be $10 times the square footage of the property. All right, that's what you're going to use to like a quick down and dirty estimate for repairs. All right, so what is medium? Medium is, hey, maybe we need a kitchen and a bathroom, and you know, so it's a little bit more, right? Maybe it's a electric panel, you know, maybe it just needs some plumbing and some other cosmetics. You know, some more bigger ticket items are involved, right? Like a roof is really expensive, plumbing is expensive, electric is expensive, you know, a kitchen is expensive. So, you know, whenever you start getting into the bigger ticket items, all right, that's going to be more of a medium if it's not all of them. Okay, so heavy is like, this freaking thing needs a lot of work, okay? Like a ton of work. It's going to need most of all the cosmetics. It's going to need kitchen, bathroom, probably needs a roof, all right? Might need to be replumbed, might need some siding or, you know, something like that. It's a heavy, like, rehab. It's a full-blown renovation, okay? So when you run across that, that's going to be right around that $30 a square foot range. And this is important because really when you're making an offer, it's based on a formula. And I'm going to take you here in a second into REI Automator and show you the Offer Automator feature, but I'm also going to share with you, you know, the typical formula that you can use to make offers on wholesale houses, okay? So let me take you into the screen recording now, and then when we get back, I'll show you what the typical formula looks like, all right? Show you how you can be making offers, especially virtually, right? So this is, REI Automator just in general is a virtual wholesaler's just dream machine, all right? So let me just say that because it is very, very true. This application, this software is extremely powerful for anyone looking to do deals remotely and virtual, right? So just like I do deals in Jacksonville and other areas in Florida, I live in Miami. This tool is a big part of us, and not only just us, but other very, very highly successful wholesalers that are virtually wholesaling properties all over the country. So let's just start here. We'll just say Jacksonville, Florida. This is one of our markets. So here's the first property. It pulls up 3617 Stillman Street right here on the right side. I'm going to click on that. All right, so now you can see all this info pulls up. But for the sake of this video, we're not going to be getting into all that stuff. But what I will say is this. So this estimated value right here, this is going to be treated more like a Zestimate, right? Just like Zillow does their algorithm. It's a very similar algorithm. Ours is a little bit more in depth, but this is, at the end of the day, that's what you should be treating this as, just as a quick guide when you go to comp your properties and everything. So it's just a good little tool to have there when you're first starting out. You're not very familiar with comping properties yet. You're just getting going. This gives you a good baseline idea right here of roughly, you know, where you should be at. All right, somewhat. It's not going to be 100%. Sometimes it's like dead on accurate, and sometimes it's not. But this is what you're going to use as a baseline to jump in here before if you were to comp the property, or if you wanted to use the Offer Automator feature, which is right here. All right, so as it pulls in, what I want you to understand is we have in here, right, so our ARV, that's our after repair value. So when it is fully fixed up, what is that property worth on the retail market to a homeowner that wants to buy a house to live in? All right, so that's the quick down and dirty way to explain ARV. Exit price, all right, so we're calculating an algorithm based on current market data that is dynamically updated based on what cash buyers are typically paying for a very similar property to this. And that way, that gives you an idea of where you're going to exit at. So how much your cash buyers are going to be willing to pay for the property right here is that's your exit price. Now, what I want to talk about really fast so you understand, we have goal target, we have max allowable offer. Okay, so you notice that our max allowable and our exit price is $20,000 exact difference. Okay, so why that is we are saying we're trying to make at least $20,000 on a wholesale deal right now. All right, now you don't have to do that. You can change that in the Automator feature to where your desired profit is. And you can also change the difference between the goal target and the max allowable, which right now we have a 5% wiggle room. That's the way that we like to do it. And you see right here, your profit, $20,000 to $22,947. And the $22,000 would obviously be if we got our goal target offer accepted, not our max allowable. But let's dig into this really quick. So the thing about the offer automator feature that you got to understand is you need to have at least base level understanding of comping properties. All right, for this feature to work extremely well for you and you to get great results with it, you got to at least bare minimum understand comps at a low level at least. Okay, so what you got to understand too is you want to make sure that you're only doing residential property class over here when it is a residential house. Now you could do it with different ones. If you're doing vacant land, you could do vacant land. You know, you just might have to increase your distance. Property type, we're going to do single family because this is a single family home. And then we even have our year built in here as well, right? So this is a new construction. You can see right here, all right, new construction, brown, this legend at the bottom. So green is cash, blue is foreclosure. This purple is a bank-owned property, an REO. The brown is new construction. The purple is inner family. All right, so or the fuchsia, I should say. I can't believe I even know what that color is, but we're just going to say it's fuchsia. All right, I'm pretty sure it is. You can even go over here and say if you just want cash buyer, you want new construction, you want interfamily foreclosure, REO sale. But for what we're doing right now, we're just trying to make an offer. All right, and this is not necessarily necessary to do the property class and property type if you don't want to. You can see here it's all single family residential that's pulling up, so that's why I'm not even really too focused on that. And then if you get anomalies that are, let's just say, a portfolio of properties sells, okay, it could show up in here. In all these comps right here, a very similar property might show up for $1 million, saying it sold for $1 million. Well, what's happening there is the county is recording those properties that are in that portfolio all together. So each property individually will show as they sold for $1.4 million or $1 million, whatever that total is, right? It'll be astronomical amount over what everything else is selling for. So if you want to just make sure, you can exclude those right there. And then that way you won't get any of those portfolio sales in there. Now, if you're looking for portfolio sales, then that's a great tool to use as well. But let's just say that you just came in here right now. All right, you're not even focused on like all the stuff I just took you through. I just wanted to do a quick little walkthrough. Obviously, we don't need a new construction in there, okay? But then we remove this new construction. These two looks like these are the most comparable to that property, our subject property that we're looking at. But we have another one right here. All right, that's $130,000. We could even pull in a cash sale that sold for $125,000 right here. All right, then we have another $96,000 cash sale, and I think that we're pretty spot on right here. So you're just walking down, putting in some of the higher ones, all right, and then some of the medium ones. All right, that's what we're doing in this example, and then we're going to move on down the line. So we're going to go over here, click next. Okay. All right, so you see what it's doing right here, and you can change this if you want, but it is automatically in the background calculating what the offer percentage should be. So it's saying your ARV is about $135,000. All right, it's making your offer at 58% of that, which would mean your exit price is $78,000. All right, so then let's move on down. Next, max offer. Your max offer is $58,933. All right, goal target. Your goal target is $55,986 offer. Next, finish, boom. Here's your analysis over here. All right, so you got your ARV, $135,000, exit price, $78,000, max allowable, $58,933. Your goal target offer, $55,986.
and then your desired profit, which is $20,000 to $22,947. And again, we are using $20,000 as a minimum. 5% wiggle room between these two are offers. And that is what we're looking for. You can modify that. You do not have to follow that, right? But this is a quick way to get highly accurate offers out fast. All right, when you start using this tool, you are going to just love it. Okay, so what's going to happen is your virtual wholesaling, if you're doing texting and cold calling, which I strongly recommend that you're doing, you can be on the phone, have this pulled up, and as you are walking them down and going through the building rapport, getting all the questions that you need answered about any repairs or anything that's going on with the property, and obviously you're going to double check that anyway. But then boom, you can start firing out an offer, trying to get this thing locked up, okay, on a contingency, right? Which the contingency is, hey, I'm trying to get this thing done. That way I can send someone out there. It costs me, Mr. Seller, it costs me money and time and everything to go out there and analyze the property and do our quick walkthrough. We have some boots on the ground there. However you want to position that, right? I always like to say that, for someone to come out, it's going to cost us some time, some money, and we want to make sure we have a hard agreement in place. So if we can both agree upon this number, this is the condition adjusted market price. We can both agree on it. You're going to send them this stuff, and we'll talk about that in later steps. But you're going to send them this stuff, and then you're going to put a clause in that agreement. If they will not just sign it, you're going to put this clause in there anyway, but you're going to really go over it with them and make sure they understand it, especially if they're at a point where they're holding back, right? And, they're like, I'm not ready yet. You haven't seen the property. It's like, look, for us to come out there, we're going to have to pay this money and this time. So I think it's only fair that we have the agreement and we just put a contingency in there. If we walk the property and something happens where, we find something that wasn't disclosed or maybe you didn't know about, then that's okay. We can void the agreement or we can discuss that, right? Which obviously you're leaning towards the side of discussing that and, getting the price reduced if you need to and keeping that agreement in place. We'll talk about that later as well. But at least you have that agreement, okay? So it goes the same way. You also can void that agreement if it's not what it's supposed to be either, and that offer ends up being too high, okay? So that's the deal with virtual, is a lot of the times you're going to have to use that contingency, okay? Because you're not physically at the property. You don't have anyone physically at the property right then and there. So when you get someone to go out there and look at it, that is the deal, and you got to set that up as fast as possible. That could be WeGoLook.com, that could be a local realtor. There's a lot of ways that you can do that, and we'll talk about that later as well. But this is a quick, accurate way to pump out some real offers and start locking up some deals virtually. All right, so look, guys, let's get back to the video.
All right, we're back, guys. So I showed you really quick, a quick way to, get a value, the ARV, right, the after repair value, and then also how to make the offer in REI Automator. If you don't have REI Automator, though, I'm going to show you the basic formula that, how to make an offer on a wholesale property. So, guys, and also if you do want REI Automator, and I highly suggest that you do because we're going to talk about it a lot through this series, flipmorehouses.com, and you get a free 7-day trial. You get 10,000 records a month. It's only $97 a month, and all that stuff is included, like all the normal crazy features that you get that are awesome that we use in our business every day. So a free 7-day trial at flipmorehouses.com. But let's go into your basic offer formula, right? That's been around for years and years, and that is ARV, which is after repair value. So if that property was in mint condition, okay, it didn't need any work, it was ready for a homeowner to buy, you could sell it on the market with a realtor for top price, right? That is what your ARV value is, right? That's what that price is. ARV, after repair value. So it's basically full retail value in great condition, okay? Times 0.70, all right? So you're basically knocking 30% off of, whatever the ARV is right there. So you're taking that equity. Then you're going to minus whatever the repairs is that you estimated. That is going to get you your offer. Now, what I want to stress to you is this is not end all be all, every market this works formula, okay? That is why Offer Automator is so powerful, because it's market based, market specific. Where this, you have some markets like Phoenix where people are making offers at, 78%, right? So they're, instead of 70%, ARV times 70, they're doing times 78 minus repairs, So whatever market that you're in, really understand if it's a really, really hot, booming market that's super, super competitive, a lot of people doing this, or if it's more of, if you're in like, somewhere maybe in the Midwest it's not that booming, I'm just using that as an example, then you could probably stay closer to that 70%. But when that came out, it was a long time ago, and the market has really changed since then. So what I suggest to you to use as a guide, if you're in a not very, strong market, it's not highly, highly competitive, then, you could go closer to that 70%. But I recommend if you're in those, really hot markets, you really look at doing like 0.75 to 0.78 depending, right? So, and again, you remember you're locking these up over the phone a lot of the time. So with that being said, you still have that contingency to see the property. You're not 100% married to that. You want to get as close as you can, but remember there's the variable there that you're trusting what they say, the homeowner says, and you don't know how much repairs it actually needs. So don't stress out too much if you don't get it perfect, because how can you get it perfect when you're not actually physically there looking at the property, being able to estimate repairs accurately, right? So anyway, that is what I would do, guys. That's kind of your baseline. I just want to show you the normal formula for doing this. And that way, if you don't have REI Automator and you don't want it, you still have a way to do this. But that's what I suggest in those hotter markets, is you're going to have to bump that up. That 0.7 just isn't going to cut it anymore. You're going to have to probably go more like, 0.75-ish, right? That's kind of like the sweet spot. So a lot of it also depends on how much you're looking to make per deal, right? So you need to figure that out. And I know a lot of you starting out, that's probably the last thing in your mind, like, man, I want to at least make $10,000 per deal. Well, like a lot of you are just focused on actually getting a deal, right? And I understand that. So again, like, I'm giving you this as guidelines. Don't feel like you can't like waver out of this a little bit and take a shot on something. And based on actually verifying through the seller and going and taking pictures and all that stuff. But also at the same time, don't go out there and just make a bunch of crazy offers either, and start locking up contracts just to lock up contracts when they don't end up closing because you're offering way too high. That's why this is a very, very important step. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have questions about any of this stuff, let me know in the comments below. I am here for you. Please drop me a like, make sure you subscribe, and we will be moving on to the next step number 9. But I love you guys. Remember, it's a lifestyle, doing whatever it takes to do whatever you want. I love you. Peace.